Jay Shetty is a former monk and motivational speaker who's followed by over 20 million people worldwide. He went from being bullied as a child for being overweight and nerdy to living as a monk across India and Europe and becoming one of the internet's biggest celebrities. And today we're going to learn his best advice on why you must avoid instant judgment. Rise and shine, it's Entspresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Carmichael, and every morning I bring you a shot of Entspresso to help you start your day with confidence and believe in yourself. So good morning, I believe in you, and let's do this. Over to you, Jay Shetty.
So we're so used to in our life having instant judgment, defining a moment and giving it a label, good or bad, in the moment. And I thought, how do I present a concept to the world where we can laugh at ourselves and realize that sometimes our instant judgment or our instant labeling processor isn't always correct?
Yes.
How do we get that? So this script or narrative that I shared in this video is on a gentleman who goes to buy these cookies because he feels like having a few cookies because his flight's delayed, and he sits down to eat these cookies, and the gentleman opposite him, where you're sitting right now, starts to take cookies out as well. And he's thinking, how's this guy? And the guy looks a little rugged, he looks a little scruffy, he doesn't look put together. So naturally all of our biases, our unconscious biases start coming up and stemming up. And we start thinking, oh, he looks a little shady. Or maybe he doesn't have money, that's why he's taking my cookies. And we have this impression of I, me, and mine. These are my cookies. How can he take them? Only to realize when he leaves that your cookie box was in your bag and that gentleman was sharing his cookies with you. And then this person has this epiphany or this moment of realizing how quick he was to judge, but how wrong he was. And I think all of us in different ways have different moments in our life where whether we misjudged a person the first time we met them, or we misjudged someone because of the first thing they said to us, or we had a friend that now is our best friend, but our first impression was, oh, they're a loser. And all of a sudden now we think they're amazing.
Human beings are pattern recognition machines. When you see something a few times, you learn the pattern and it shortcuts your efficiency. When you were first learning to drive a car or to ride a bike, it took you a little while to figure out the patterns, but once you figured it out, you recognized it, now you can do it almost automatically. You figure out the pattern, it shortcuts your efficiency. So pattern recognition is a good thing, but not when you're missing information. One of the main reasons why I've continued with all my channels is because I want to break people's patterns. Because your patterns have gotten you so far, but you know you want to break through, you know you want to create more, you know you've got more inside you, and if you keep living by your current patterns, you're going to keep getting the same results that you're getting. Your patterns have served you, your patterns have kept you alive, your patterns have allowed you to have some success, but in order to get to the next step, you're going to have to realize which patterns have served you and will keep serving you, and which ones need to be broken, need to be destroyed so that you can continue to climb and soar. So when you see me, you know, if you didn't know who I was, you'd already have some judgments. When you see Jay Shetty, you already have some judgments. When you hear someone with a British accent, you have some judgments. We already have these judgments through the patterns that we've been through before. And so part of what I want to do on this channel is introduce you to new people. I have different people from different backgrounds with different beliefs, all still in a positive way, right? I never have content that is anti something. It's never you suck, hate your life, or making fun of somebody, right? It's always positive and uplifting, but there's a lot of different ways to get there. And people tend to gravitate towards people who look like them, who are the same gender, who are the same background, or the same religion. We tend to gravitate by default through pattern recognition to gravitate to the people who are like us. It's normal, it's part of the human condition. And that used to bother me a lot because I love learning from different people. I love that Kanye West was the first person I've done a top 10 on. I think you can learn from him even if you hate him. I've tried to teach myself to learn from people that they might have 1,000 things that I don't like about them, but as long as there's one that I can learn from, that's all I'm gonna focus on and throw away the other 1,000, because my goal is to be the best Carmichael, not the next whoever. So you get that from pulling different pieces from different people. So there is no perfect person. So you can forgive people for the mistakes that they're making because it's not what you would do. Awesome. Just look at the one thing that you can learn from them and pull it in. So it used to bother me a lot that people weren't willing to learn from different people. But then I realized I can shift people through my content. I can shift people by having them come in for someone who looks like them, who already has the same value system as them, who is already in the same industry as them, and get them into the channel, into the ecosystem of Believe, and then slowly shift them to learn from other people. One of my favorite comments of all time on the channel was when we featured a black entrepreneur, and in the comment section was a guy who said, growing up, my parents always told me that black people were the N-word, and today I learned from a black man. Right? The pattern recognition shift just there. And he's been taught this lesson. He's seen the pattern over and over and over from his parents, but he's recognizing this is actually now going to limit me from getting to where I want to go. Because I'm not willing to learn from black people, then that's by default limiting what I can learn. And so by being in my ecosystem, he was willing to give this one top 10 video 5 minutes of his time. And he realized, holy cow, the paradigm that I grew up in is not actually right. The judgments that I had are not actually right. I can actually learn from this guy. I have something that he has something that he can teach me, and I'm better because of it. And so that's been part of the secret ninja plan for the channel. I never set out to try to, solve something like racism at the early stages of the channel. But I think whenever you can learn from somebody who's not like you, who's from a different country, different background, different belief systems, but there's still something that they have to teach you, and you accept that, it one creates more tolerance, it creates more acceptance, creates more awareness, creates more understanding, and also makes you a better person and opens up the ability for you to learn and actually get to where you need to be. So how can you do it? How can you improve your pattern recognition so you can make smarter decisions that are in service to where you want to go? I got 3 ideas for you, but first, here's a quick message from Jay Shetty.
Hey everyone, I have been reading a bit from my friend's book, Evan Carmichael, Built to Serve, and I wanted to share this with you. So, according to a study by Carnegie Mellon University, people with supportive spouses are more likely to give themselves the chance to succeed. They studied 163 married couples and found that people with supportive spouses were more likely to take on potentially rewarding challenges. Those who accepted challenges experienced more personal growth, happiness, and psychological well-being. Now, I can truly say that I've experienced that in my life. When I first met my wife, I was just starting out. I had never released a video. I hadn't created any content, and she was such an important part of feeling supported on that journey. So whether you're in a relationship, whether you're dating, whether you're married, or even if you're single, being supported by friends and a strong community is important. Built to Serve by Evan Carmichael. Great book on how you can find your purpose, and also on reminding us that we can all make a difference in the world. Thanks, Evan.
All right, how do we do it? How do we improve our pattern recognition to make better decisions for ourselves, not be as judgmental? 3 steps, let's go. Step number 1 is expose yourself to new. The more new things that you expose yourself to, the smarter your pattern recognition is going to be. Just imagine the last time you went on vacation, the last time you got out of the bubble that you were in. You went to a new country, you went to somebody you've never been before. You come back with a different perspective. You come back having absorbed a new culture. You come back with new ideas that you didn't have before because you had that chance to experience the new. I think of even Howard Schultz, who's behind me on the wall, who started Starbucks. He had a coffee company, and he went to Italy on vacation and saw that the coffee shop in Italy was the center of culture, was their third home. They had work, and they had the coffee shop. Where he looked at North America and he saw people just got their coffee and left. And he wanted to create a place where it could be a third home for them like it was in Italy. And that's what started Starbucks. It's how he got the idea for his business. And so when you expose yourself to new things, to new ideas, to new people, to new experiences, even from home, taking a shot on a new YouTube channel, taking a shot on a new book, taking a shot at a new hobby. Doesn't mean you have to go off and travel to Italy to get your new ideas, right? You can do it even from home. And so that idea to constantly expose yourself to the new so you don't get stuck in the same patterns will help you get to where you need to go. Step number 2 is be around who you want to be. So when you figure out what your values are, the kind of business that you want to build, the entrepreneurs that you look up to and respect, and there's something about them that you want to learn, right? I want to be a father like my father, and I want to be an entrepreneur or visionary like Steve Jobs, or you can't see this one, like that one back there, Steve Jobs. When you figure out who's doing it, right? Who's doing the things that you want to do? Who's embodying the characteristics that you want to embody? Again, there's no one perfect person, right? I want to take fatherhood from my father and visionaryhood from Steve Jobs, right? Who are the people who are doing the thing, who are living the life that you want to live, who are acting the way that you want to act, that feels right to you, and then surround yourself with them as much as possible. I'm never going to meet Steve Jobs, right? I didn't meet him. He's passed. I'm not going to meet him, but I can still learn from him. For me, I get it through videos. For you, it might be interviews. It might be podcasts. It might be articles that he's had written about him, his biography. But you can be around him and all of your other heroes to choose to be around them more consistently. What they will do is they'll pull you forward. Like the way they think will start seeping into your head, and you'll start to think like them for the things that you want to be like. So being around those heroes, the people who are who you want to be, surrounding yourself with them on a regular basis will change that pattern recognition, will change how you judge, because you'll start to think like they think. And then step number 3 is make learning a part of your daily routine. Learning needs to be a part of every single day of your life if you want to grow. The difference between where you are now, where you're going to be in a year, is how much you've learned, how much you've consumed, how much you've taken on and then applied into your life and your business. So it starts with understanding your learning style. For me, I learn through video. So every day I watch a video, usually from one of my channels, to learn and get better. This morning I was watching a video we did on Joe Dispenza and another video that we did on Mark Cuban. And so today I got a little bit of Joe Dispenza in one ear and I got a little bit of Mark Cuban in the other ear. And tomorrow will be somebody else. It'll be somebody new, somebody different. That's why I love my own channels, because there's always something for me to consume, to get better, to learn from, to improve. But I'm a visual guy. Chances are you might be visual too if you're here watching on YouTube. So the good news is I've got lots of channels and lots of content, but whatever, maybe you hate me, great. You can subscribe to Jay, you can subscribe to Grant, you can subscribe to Patrick or Tom or Gary. There's lots of people you can subscribe to learn from that you need to be around every day, because no matter how great a day you have today, tomorrow you're starting over. And you have to be around that if you want to actually have them shift and pull you forward. If video's not your thing, then great. Subscribe to the podcast that you love. Make reading a part of your daily routine. Like whatever the thing is, how you best learn, not what you think you should learn. If you hate reading, great. Don't get stressed out that you're not a reader. Don't worry about readers or leaders. Learners are leaders, right? If you're going to learn through podcasts or video, awesome. But you have to make it a part of your daily routine if you want to shift your life forward and improve your pattern recognition. Now, I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know, what is your preferred way to learn? Are you a visual person, an audio person? Do you love reading? How do you learn best? Let me know. Put it down in the comments below. And if you made it this far in the video, you're still here watching, Believe Nation, we don't just watch videos, right? We do something about it. If that's you, if you're going to promise right here, right now, today, commit to take action after watching this video, give me a hashtag Believe down in the comments below and tell me where you're from as well, so I can celebrate you.
In Mumbai, this is my favorite story. I tell this all the time. I love it. In Mumbai, India, sometimes I do this singing events, Kirtan. I sing the holy names of Krishna, the Hare Krishna mantra. And sometimes we have like 200 students, all youngsters, all university students. And in this 200 students, about 60 of them are PhD students. It's amazing, all of these PhD students coming and participating in Kirtan. We have 200 of them, all university students. And then I sing. Like 2 hours, I just sing. I speak, but I also sing. And when I finish singing, then all the students will come and say, that was amazing, amazing. And believe me, it's hard to take those compliments seriously because they don't understand any music. But anyway, I really kind of respond back. I say, thank you very much, really grateful for your kind compliment. I take it because it's out of love. It doesn't matter on the skill or expertise, but very loving, so I say thank you. Now one evening we had this Kirtan event, singing event, and a special personality came for this event. It was a lady, she was 80 years old. Everybody else is like between 21 and 25. And there's only one lady who's so elderly, she's like 80 years old. And she happened to be the grandmother of one of our students. She came and she sat there. I mean, what's so special if an 80-year-old lady comes and sits for the case? It's okay. She was trained in singing for 35 years. She came and sat there. Now, that day, if I wanted the compliment of the word amazing, it was from her. If she said amazing, sorted. You're sorted. All these kids say amazing, who cares? They don't understand music anyways. But a lady who's trained to sing for 35 years, she says amazing. You made it, you've done it. So usually I sing with the harmonium in front of me. I keep my eyes closed and tight shut for an hour, whatever. I don't open my eyes usually. Try to. That day, every few minutes I was opening my eyes to see how is she nodding? Is she completely involved in the singing? Because then you know that, oh, it's going good. After the whole thing was over, the kids were coming and saying, amazing. I said, okay, thank you. There's only one person I need to hear it. One person today. The 80-year-old grandma who really has 35 years of experience in singing. And the grandson came and said, Prabhuji, would you like to meet my grandma? I said, yeah, I don't mind actually. Very politely I said, I don't mind actually. And he brought his grandmother to see me. And the grandmother came. And as she came there, sometimes you say these things in modesty. You don't mean it at all. Like how many of you said a sorry and not meant it at all? Did you? Have you? Okay, thank you. Have you ever said a thank you and didn't mean it at all? Happens all the time, isn't it? That day I said a statement. It was just artificial modesty. I didn't feel it like that. I didn't feel like that at all. I said to her, actually, I don't know how to sing well. And I'm actually off the key. In India, they call it Besur. I'm off the key, main Besur hu. She said, that's right. Oh my God. That's right. And I'm like, completely devastated. And I'm like thinking, how can anybody say it straight on your face? I mean, you could say, yeah, it was kind of something you can make. I said, I'm off the key and I can't sing. She said, that's right. And then the grandson was standing right there. And the grandson started shouting at her, Grandma! I mean, he didn't shout that loud. This is exaggerated. He said, Grandma, did you hear what he's saying? He's saying he's off the key. He can't sing well. She said, that's impossible. If he was off the key and he can't sing well, I wouldn't have sat here for a single minute. Now I was confused. Within 1 minute, just now she said I can't, and now she says I can. And then the grandson turned towards me and said, Prabhuji, she's hard of hearing. She uses a hearing aid and she didn't bring it today. So because your singing was amplified, she could hear, but when you're talking, she can't hear. And therefore, sometimes she just has to say, yeah. That's dangerous. You just keep saying, to anything that anybody says, Now, believe me, if I would have judged her by her actions, I would have for my life thought that and branded her by saying, what a horrible woman. She doesn't know etiquette and, sensitivities and dealings. But when you look at the hidden mango behind, which I didn't know, which is why until you know, don't judge. Until you know, don't brand. Until you know, don't come to a conclusion.
If you want Jay Shetty's best advice on how to unweed your garden, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.